Hey, Yetta, are you in a good mood right now?
I usually am.
No, but are you right now? Because we need to talk.
Maybe I'm not.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.
Welcome to another Life's Inside Track episode. I'm Yetta Decker.
And I'm Ken Decker.
And we're grateful that we get to share techniques, thoughts, tools, and tips that we all need. We all deserve. You, I, everyone. So we get to turn our house into home, our families thrive, and we live the best life possible. In this particular segment, we're going to consider the timing of a conversation. Something you just forgot about.
No, that's why I asked you what kind of mood you were in. I was working on knowing whether this was a good time to have a serious conversation.
And you got a smile on your face when you say serious.
Yeah. I didn't say it was like a bad conversation. Serious to me doesn't mean not exciting.
Okay.
Like if we were going to invest in a property and I found something and said, hey, we want to have a serious conversation as to whether we should leverage to buy this property, do what it takes, then I'm excited about the property when I'm calling you. So it's a serious conversation.
Right.
But I'm smiling because I'm happy.
Okay. So the timing is interesting because the timing of the conversation doesn't have really, as Ken said, anything to do with necessarily whether it's a difficult conversation. It's just an important conversation, potentially. It could be a lighthearted conversation, and timing always matters.
Yeah, and we're going to discuss three things. So if you're sitting down at the table, you might want to write down your 1, 2, and 3. We're going to discuss three things that roll into timing around having a conversation with someone. And the way I asked whether you're in a good mood or not a wise thing to do. You need to judge that.
Right, like feel.
I need to feel whether you are in a good place to be able to have a conversation or not. If I ask you, I already blew it.
Isn't that interesting though, right? Mm-hmm. So part of it is, so we've already said the three things. We're going to give away one right now. It's what mood are you in? You've already kind of highlighted that one. Like what what energetic mood are you feeling is in the room and in the environment? Because we emit it all the time.
Yes. And even beyond mood, it's really hard to judge this, and important. Does the person have the emotional capacity to have that conversation right now?
Brilliant. Like so important, right? Like,
can you repeat that again?
Brilliant.
Thank you.
So important, Ken, to make sure the person has capacity. So I may be in a fine mood and I'm in the middle of talking to a client or negotiating something on their behalf, as I was yesterday. And somebody really important to me called and said, can we have a conversation right now? And although I was in a great mood, I said, is the conversation I'm going to find emotionally difficult, or is it a conversation I'm going to find light and easy hearted? And he said, you're going to find it. I'm going to find it easy, he said, and you're going to find it difficult. I said, well, then he said, so can we have it now? And I said, no, now is not a good time to have it. Of course, then I'm wondering, what is it? What's going on? Should I have said yes? But if I don't have the capacity, because I'm taking care of a client, trying to negotiate an agreement.
I think you're blending the line there. Oh. I think you're blending that right into our number 2, which is situation. What's the situation the person's dealing with? It could be, the situation in your case was you've got in the back of your mind negotiating an offer, putting something together for a client, and it's absorbing your emotional and your mental capacity. But a situation could be, that's a situation, but your mood could be good. Let's say you looked after the kids all day and you're frazzled, but now you're sitting down for, a glass of your favorite beverage or something. The kids are in bed. Everything's calm, and your spouse says, or your significant other, or whoever says, could we have this conversation, right? you might be in a good space, but you're on the edge. You're coming down from being a little frazzled or chaotic, and to move straight into, you don't really have the emotional capacity left to finish that. So maybe in the morning after a good rest, your batteries are recharged and you have the emotional capacity before the kids get up to have that conversation.
Right. So the first one was mood or energetic state.
Yeah.
Might be another way to say it, depending on how you
Somebody's already angry or upset or emotionally, crying or tearful or sad or even depressed or whatever. That's not the time to have a hard conversation or a deep conversation.
Right. So
it's also not the time to make
decisions.
An important decision.
No decisions in that state, right? Yeah. No conversations of any magnitude.
Except for maybe what's causing it. That's different than bringing up a totally another subject.
Right. So state or energetic state, the situation that the people are in or the person's in. And then the third one for timing.
That's a good thing. I don't remember. Oh, yes, I do. Because I've blown this a few times. Because, sometimes there's something that I want to ask Yetta and it's percolating in the back of my mind, percolating. And then I'll blurt it out at the most inopportune time. And that is when there are other people in the room. A, it's the first time she's heard it. B, she might feel pressure to go a certain way or react a certain way because there are other people present. So who is there? And maybe it's none of their business and it's a private conversation. And if you have that in front of others, I think Donald Trump's learning that right now, that he shouldn't have had sensitive conversations about secret things in the U.S. government while he had dinner guests at the table.
Well, that's never a good idea, right? But it doesn't even have to be something that complicated. Is it even an appropriate conversation for that person? When the grandkids are around, for argument's sake, there's conversations that you don't even have to whisper or have. It's just not good timing to have that. And then other times that you're involving,
there's the age-appropriate conversation.
And then the other one is it something that they need to be involved with? Right? So does it even add value to them or to you?
And even if the third or fourth person is involved in the decision or the conversation, there may need to be a pre-conversation with your partner or significant other.
Or your business partner.
Or whoever. Before even that question is poised, because it may put, which I did the other day, put you in a position where you really don't have anything to say, but yes, like you look like the bad cop or bad person if you veto it. Whereas if we have the discussion ahead of time and we come out as a united front and we say, no, that's not going to work, or we don't mention it at all. Now we've done something. Now, the other thing is when you're looking for timing, there's a really important thing to know is that don't put it off forever. Because what happens is when you sweep it under the rug, you start to get
a lumpy rug. Lumpy rugs. Yeah, lumpy rugs.
And at some point, you'll trip over it.
Right.
So I read a quote from Ambrose Bierce. And he said, "Speak when you're angry, and you will give the best speech you will ever regret." We're grateful to be partners with you, moving forward towards wealth, wisdom, and worth.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward.